less than 2 weeks away from the transfer portal reopening. Now, the last couple years, like usually the winter opening is it's more players, it's a longer transfer portal opening. But as a Miami guy, I'm hoping there's some big time players who hit the portal in spring, because I think Miami is going to be shopping probably for another receiver, maybe shopping for another safety. Like they're encouraging players at both those spots, but maybe a little bit thinner and a lack of experience. So, I mean, do you get a sense as to just how, and it's a lot of it is NIL driven, of course. How busy do you expect this April transfer portal to be? And do you think there's going to be blue chip players out there to be had?
The answer is yes, but with a major caveat. I'm just going to be blunt here. I'm not a very shy guy. I think it's going to be the most portal tampering heavy portal window of all, and it's going to cause problems. And I think eventually it's going to cause the spring window to go away, because once a kid, I'm not going to go into specifics, but there's hardly a major school that doesn't tamper. And it's one of the major reasons that these spring games are getting shut down. People don't want it being videoed flat out. So it just depends on what you mean by available. Induced, yes.
Right.
And I think we're going to see some nastiness with coaches at programs that don't have the same NIL, something like an Oregon or a Texas, come out and start taking shots. And the NCAA is going to be put in a rough spot. That's coming. Secondarily, to your point, from speaking to somebody close to Miami program, receiver is obviously a spot they need because they just don't have experience. That doesn't mean they're going to go get a 5-star guy that had 85 catches last year, but they do need to get somebody that can come in and help. We've heard good things about JoJo and all that, but they need depth and they need somebody they can rely on. I'm sure Carson Beck would like to get at least one guy that's been a starter in the SEC or something like that to come over. Do they get one? I don't know, but I'd be surprised. It shouldn't be that hard to sell Miami's offense because they're like one player away from being explosive again. But they lost X, and I mean they lost 2 elite guys. Not it's one thing to lose just X, but and they lost Kobe Young before that. They lost so much production.
Jacoby George,
George was the burner. X was the perfect underneath guy. They had the great system, and people don't talk about it enough. The tight end they lost. I mean, he's that's a great football player. So I wouldn't be shocked if they found a guy that could catch the football as a tight end. They use a lot of 2 tight end sets, H-backs. That's a possibility too if that right guy came along. But overall, I think the numbers that guys just jump in the portal will be low. The guys they're going to be induced. This is going to be a really nasty spring window, and I think it's going to lead to the spring window eventually going away because NCAA is going to be put in a really tough spot.